Two people witness the exact same devastating event, perhaps a business failure, a relationship ending, or a health crisis. One person's world crumbles completely, spiraling into depression and giving up on their dreams. The other person, while deeply affected, somehow finds a way to transform the experience into wisdom, strength, and an even clearer vision for their future. What makes the difference? The answer lies not in their circumstances, but in the actual architecture of their brains. Imagine resilience as a magnificent building and optimism as the blueprint that guides its construction. In the brains of people who bounce back from adversity with hope intact, neuroscientists have discovered something remarkable. A completely different neural architecture than those who struggle to recover. It's as if some people have brains built like flexible skyscrapers that can sway with the strongest winds without breaking, while others have rigid structures that shatter under pressure. The foundation of this resilient brain architecture is something called cognitive flexibility. Picture your mind as having multiple viewing windows, each offering a different perspective on the same situation. When something challenging happens, a brain with high cognitive flexibility can quickly shift between these windows, asking questions like, "What can I learn from this?" Or, "How might this redirect me towards something better?" Or, "What opportunities might be hidden in this difficulty?" This flexibility isn't just a mental skill, it's a physical reality in the brain. People with optimistic resilience have stronger connections between their prefrontal cortex and other brain regions, creating what neuroscientists call cognitive control networks. These networks act like a sophisticated switching system, allowing the brain to rapidly shift between different thinking patterns and emotional responses. When you watch someone with this kind of cognitive flexibility handle a crisis, it's like watching a master architect redesign a building in real time. Where others see only destruction, they see raw materials for something new. Their brains literally process the same information differently, finding patterns and possibilities that rigid thinking simply cannot detect. The second pillar of resilient brain architecture is what researchers call the meaning-making machinery. Deep in your left hemisphere, there's a region that neuroscientists have nicknamed the interpreter. This area is constantly working to create coherent, forward-looking narratives from your experiences. In resilient people, this meaning-making system operates like a master storyteller, always asking, "How does this chapter fit into the larger story of who I'm becoming?" This isn't about denial or false positivity. The meaning-making machinery in optimistic brains acknowledges pain and difficulty, but it places them within a larger context of growth and purpose. It's like having an internal documentary filmmaker who can take any footage, even the most challenging scenes, and weave it into a compelling story of transformation and evolution. When trauma or setbacks occur, this system immediately begins looking for what psychologists call post-traumatic growth. Instead of just trying to return to the previous state, the meaning-making machinery asks how this experience might catalyze development of new strengths, deeper relationships, or a more authentic life direction. This is why many people who develop optimistic resilience report that their greatest challenges became the source of their most profound growth. The third architectural element is perhaps the most crucial: an advanced emotional regulation system. Think of this as the brain's climate control, automatically adjusting internal conditions to maintain optimal function regardless of external weather. In resilient brains, the prefrontal cortex has developed strong regulatory connections with the amygdala, the brain's alarm system. When stress or a threat appears, instead of the amygdala hijacking the entire system, The prefrontal cortex steps in like a wise, calm parent, soothing an anxious child. It doesn't suppress the emotional response, instead, it helps the brain process it intelligently. This creates space between the trigger and the response, allowing for conscious choice rather than an automatic or knee-jerk reaction. This emotional regulation system works hand in hand with the parasympathetic nervous system, your body's natural restoration and healing network. In people with optimistic resilience, this system activates more quickly and more completely after stress, creating what researchers call stress inoculation. Each time they successfully navigate a challenge, their nervous system becomes stronger and more confident in its ability to handle future difficulties. What's fascinating is that with practice, this entire architecture becomes self-reinforcing. Each time the brain successfully uses cognitive flexibility to find new perspectives, creates meaningful narratives from difficult experiences, and regulates emotions effectively, it strengthens these neural pathways. It's like a muscle that grows stronger with use, except in this case, the muscle is your capacity for hope and resilience. And here's where the connection to manifestation becomes clear. When your brain has this resilient architecture, you're not just better at handling problems, you're actually better at creating solutions. The same cognitive flexibility that helps you bounce back from setbacks also helps you see opportunities that others miss. The meaning-making machinery that transforms challenges into growth also helps you envision and create futures that align with your deepest values. The emotional regulation system that keeps you stable during difficulties also allows you to maintain the sustained positive emotions that neuroscience shows are essential for creative problem solving and manifestation. When your nervous system is regulated and your brain chemistry is balanced, you enter what researchers call coherent states, where your heart, mind, and intuition work together seamlessly. In these coherent states, manifestation stops feeling like struggle and starts feeling like natural expression. Your brain's pattern recognition systems become more acute, helping you notice synchronicities and opportunities. Your decision-making improves because your prefrontal cortex can access both logical analysis and emotional wisdom. Your relationships deepen because a regulated nervous system naturally creates more authentic connection with others. Perhaps most importantly, when you manifest from this architectural foundation of resilient optimism, what you create tends to be sustainable and fulfilling. Instead of achieving goals that leave you empty or requiring constant maintenance, you manifest outcomes that continue to generate positive neurochemistry long after you've achieved them. This is the difference between manifestation that serves the ego and manifestation that serves the soul. When your brain's architecture is built for optimistic resilience, every dream you pursue becomes an opportunity for continued growth. Every goal you achieve strengthens your capacity for hope, and every challenge you face becomes fuel for an even more magnificent version of yourself. The wonderful thing is that this architecture isn't fixed. Your brain's neuroplasticity means you can literally redesign these systems, strengthening the neural pathways of resilience and optimism through conscious practice. Every time you choose flexibility over rigidity, meaning over meaninglessness, and regulation over reaction, you're building a brain that doesn't just survive life's challenges, it transforms them into stepping stones toward your highest potential.